how to develop our indigenous APIs.
Can you tell me about the latitude and longitude of Indore?
Rishul, what ethical issues arise in online pharmacy?
Why are a few scripts angular and sharp, whereas a few other are rounded and cursive and smooth? Why?
Can you also tell me the number of districts in Madhya Pradesh through which the Tropic of Cancer passes?
May I come in, sir?
Yes, come in.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir.
Please be seated. Please give a brief introduction about yourself.
Sir, my name is Rishul Neema. I come from Indore district of Madhya Pradesh. I have done my bachelor's in pharmacy from Sri Govindram Seksariya Institute of Technology and Science. Sir, I like to watch railway vlogs and do transliteration in multiple scripts in my free time.
You have basically studied pharmacology, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You tell me, the common perception in our country is that very aggressive marketing is being done in our country by the pharmaceutical companies. Don't you think that this aggressive marketing leads to many adoption of many unethical practices by the medical fraternity?
Sir, I think the issues of particular concern because, sir, I am aware of certain things that certain money to doctors and even certain holiday trips are being offered to doctors for prescription of particular branded drugs. And sir, I think the government should take certain actions to curb this because, sir, it illegitimately suppresses the promotion of generic medicines, which is a particular mandate that, sir, reduces socio-economic stress on the poor section of society. Sir.
Imagine yourself as a government representative responsible for curbing this malpractice. What are your suggestions? How are you going to deal with this?
Yes, sir. Sir, I think first of all, sir, I think in government hospitals, the prescription of generic drugs should be mandated so that, sir, branded drugs are not promoted. And, sir, gradually this promotion of generic drugs should be expanded to private hospitals as well. But first for that, the generic medicine quality needs to be ensured by all the manufacturing companies so that this alternative replacement is successful, sir. And, sir, even on policy level, we can ensure that the prices of the branded medicines is under control. And, sir, there is an institution called as National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority, and it is taking certain measures to curb, for example, setting up of a ceiling price of specific medicines to ensure that such drastic price rise are not undertaken.
Earlier, you see, our public sector undertakings were known for producing good quality medicines, but gradually they are losing their shine. What are the reasons for that?
Yes, sir. Sir, the private sector has taken the lead in the medicine production. Sir, I think that the government incentives, for example, the bulk drug parks in different states, and, sir, the incentivization in schemes such as production linked incentive in the pharmaceutical sector has promoted private sector participation immensely. And, sir, thereby gradually the government has retracted its composition in drug manufacturing. And, sir, in as far as quality is concerned, sir, I think that is a concerning area, sir.
As far as APIs are concerned, we are heavily dependent on countries like China and all that. How to develop our indigenous APIs?
Yes, sir. Sir, for that, recently the government of India has initiated a bulk drug park sort of scheme, sir, whereby 3 locations have been determined, for example, in Gujarat, Bharuch, Una in Himachal, and, sir, one in Andhra Pradesh, for which API dominating economic zones would be created to ensure that the strategic dependence on China in API sector is deviated.
Okay, what is the difference between translation and transliteration?
Yes, sir. Sir, in translation, the language is converted. But, sir, in transliteration, the text is the same, just the script is changing. For example, from Devanagari to Latin to other scripts.
What is your opinion? Does transliteration strengthen linguistic unity of the country or dilute the uniqueness of individual languages?
Sir, I think transliteration is the first major Sir, for example, whenever we learn any language, the first thing one should learn is the script of the language. Because, sir, it develops cultural sensitivity. For example, the first language that I learned was, the script that I learned was Tamil script. So, sir, it gave me the view how Tamil people would be looking across the world. Because, sir, everything across the world is written in script. And what our perception about the world is based on that script, sir. That's why, sir, I think.
Okay, you are also a rail enthusiast.
Yes, sir.
What enthuses you in the railways?
Sir, the inspiration was from childhood that whenever I was going to my nanny's house, the length of the train and the idea that a single locomotive can pull such a long train was very ingenious, and it created a sort of interest in me about railways. That's why, sir.
So what are the different kinds of gauge in the railways?
Yes, sir. Sir, the standard gauge, which is 4 feet 8.5 inches, and sir, India prominently uses broad gauge, which is 1676 mm, that is 5 feet 6 inches. And sir, for example, in the mountain railways, narrow gauge and meter gauge is used, which is 1 meter and 2 feet 6 inches and 2 feet in respective Himalayan and Nilgiri mountains.
Do you see standard gauge also in our country?
Yes, sir, in metro domains, in all the specific metro domains, and sir, even the bullet train, which would be inaugurated, is also.
What is the concept of Vista Dome?
Sir, Vista Dome is basically meant for tourism purposes, whereby the upper ceiling of the coach is transparent so that people can enjoy the views outside the coach as well.
Can you imagine a train running without signals in future in India?
Yes, sir. Sir, I think the Japanese model of cap signaling, whereby the signal is directly transmitted inside the engine of the locomotive, is something very interesting, whereby because of high speed of such high speed railways, signaling system is not visible to the loco pilots. In such a case, sir, cap signaling is a very new model of.
Where is it happening in our country?
Sir, cap signaling in certain Delhi Metro. Sorry, sir, one metro system in India is using that.
Just now you spoke about the high speed rail.
Yes, sir. That is indeed.
Where is it coming? This corridor?
Sir, the Surat Bilimora section is expected to inaugurate.
Is one section. Okay, thank you.
Rishul Neema.
Yes, sir.
What is the meaning of your name?
Sir, it is someone who is wise, who has wisdom.
From where this name has been taken? Any important Vedic text or?
Sir, actually, my uncle formulated this name by combining the name of my father and my mother. So that's why it became Rishul, from Reema and Sunil.
Okay, that is why Rishul.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Rishul, you have studied geography.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me about the latitude and longitude of Indore? Because you are from Indore.
Sorry, sir, I'm unable to recall.
Tell me about the latitude and longitude of India.
Sir, longitude starts from 36 degree and 75 minutes east in Gujarat to 76 degrees and 95 minutes in Arunachal Pradesh, and sir, in north it is 36 degrees and 7 minutes north to around 6 degrees in the south.
So what time zone is calculated? What time is calculated?
Yes, sir. Sir, the time is calculated by the Greenwich Meridian, which is located in London. Mm-hmm. And sir, our Indian time zone is calculated based on 5 hours and 30 minutes above the London time, and which passes from Mirzapur in India, sir.
So, if we talk about longitude and that time determination, so from western coast of India to eastern side,
yes,
what is the difference in the time?
Sir, it is about 2 hours.
2 hours. How do you calculate it?
Sir, it was calculated, sir, every degree is about 8 minutes, and sir, the larger
every
difference...
degree is 8 minutes or 4 minutes?
Sorry,
let's
sir.
Calculate it.
Yes, sir. Sir, the difference is around 40 degrees. 30 degrees and 4 minutes, 120 minutes. Yes, sir. It is 4 degrees.
4. Okay, no problem. There are 2 lines. Your line of that is Cancer and that is Capricorn. So from through India, which line crosses?
The Tropic of Cancer passes.
And through which states?
Yes, sir. Sir, it starts from Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, And sir, even Rajasthan, a little bit south of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, and West Bengal, Tripura, and Mizoram.
Okay, that's very good. And what is international date line?
Yes, sir. Sir, international date line is a imaginary line that passes through the Pacific Ocean. Sir, it is not a straight line. It is a zigzag line to avoid sovereign countries which comes in between. And sir, it is basically determines the days which has to be calculated, each of which gains and loses a day across it.
Okay. And one more question from your geography. What is the difference between isoha line and isotherm?
Yes.
Ha line, yes, and isotherm.
Yes, sir. Sir, iso-8 lines are the lines joining the places of equal rainfall, and sir, isotherms are basically the lines which join the areas of equal temperature.
Okay. You are from Madhya Pradesh. We do have around 5 Maratha branches.
Yes, sir.
In Madhya Pradesh, how many branches are there?
Sir, in Madhya Pradesh there are 2 branches. One is the Sindhyas of Gwalior and the Holkars of Indore.
Okay, thank you.
Hello Rishul. Why do wind blows from the sea towards the plain during the day and reverse direction at night?
Ma'am, during the day, as the specific heat of land is higher than the water, so ma'am, the land gets heated faster, because of which a low pressure area is created over the land. That's why ma'am, the wind from ocean goes through ocean to land, and opposite in the nights, ma'am.
Are you aware about augmented reality, virtual reality and mixed reality?
Ma'am, I have a brief idea about them.
You can explain it with examples only.
Ma'am, in augmented reality, the natural world is inclusive, and whereby it is altered by certain technological equipments. But in a virtual reality, ma'am, the entire environment is artificial and there is no element of natural environment. And ma'am, in mixed reality, ma'am, I am not sure about mixed reality.
Fine. Why is antimicrobial resistance, which is called like AMR, being called a silent pandemic nowadays? And with some other reason, is pharmacy one of the reason of its increase?
Yes, ma'am. Antimicrobial resistance is of particular concern because, ma'am, the level of consumption without prescription of antibiotics is expensive, and so, ma'am, pharmaceuticals is a key role player in that. Ma'am, it is silent pandemic, ma'am, because the immediate impacts of antimicrobial resistance are not visible in lesser time. It will gradually develop, ma'am, as the bacteria develops immunity against various antibiotics. So, ma'am, that is.
How would you compare traditional medicine with stem cell therapy in terms of their approach, effectiveness, and we can say scientific basis?
Ma'am, the traditional medicine is largely helpful in preventive clinical approaches and long-term therapeutic effects, ma'am. But ma'am, stem cell therapy is something which is a modern clinical approach to help out in many autoimmune diseases, rare diseases, and ma'am, it would be the way of future. The stem cell therapy would be used.
Okay. So Rishul, what ethical issues arise in online pharmacy? And you are aware of it, online platform. What suggestion would you give to improve this?
Ma'am, a very big concern is that in online pharmacies, in certain online pharmacies, the medicines are taken out of their covering or their packaging. Ma'am, it gives a very big scope of any negligence on the part of company, whereby the incorrect medicine or sort of substandard medicine could be inserted, and ma'am, any single dose of a wrong medicine is lethal, ma'am. And then second would be the dispensation of medicine without prescription in online pharmacies, a significant concern. So ma'am, I think verification of the prescription and ensuring the quality of drug is something which is very important.
And your suggestions?
Yes, ma'am. My suggestion is that the prescription verification mechanism by these companies should be, for example, the medical registration number of the doctor, the name of the hospital should be recorded, and ma'am, quality of the drugs which they are dispensing should be ensured.
Okay. So, suppose some villagers are opposing the government's vaccination program and you are the officer there. So, using your academic background, how would you explain what is vaccine and the significance of vaccine considering that they have never been to school?
Ma'am, I think the first approach would be telling them that the vaccine is a preserver of life. And ma'am, when their children would be first targeted, that all the autoimmune diseases or polio or etc. which can be prevented by medicine or vaccines, ma'am, because any lecture or any information when is related to their children, any person is happily understanding the larger scope of that issue. So ma'am, I will inform the people there that your children would be saved and this vaccine is for your safety. That is the strategy that ma'am I believe.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello, Rishul.
Hello, ma'am.
You were talking about transliteration, correct? I have a theory that transliteration is somewhere going to hybridize that language, kill the purity. Do you agree?
Sorry, ma'am, I would humbly disagree to that. Ma'am, I think transliteration is something which enhances cultural sensitivity of a person. It enhances how a person looks at different languages. And ma'am, I think transliteration is a way that could enhance the linguistic harmony in the country.
So somebody transliterated Mahavidyalaya to college, and today college is the more preferred version. So has it not hybridized Hindi?
Ma'am, that is translation. Ma'am, transliteration would be writing Mahavidyalaya in Devanagari to Mahavidyalaya in the Tamil script, for example.
Yes. So college is a Roman scripted thing which is written in Hindi as Devanagari college. Is it not transliteration?
Yes,
Correct
ma'am.
me if I'm wrong.
Ma'am, college in Latin and then similarly writing college in Devanagari, that is transliteration, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, but it does, ma'am, as languages have different phonetics, there is a difference that would come in the phonetic transliteration of the similar word. But ma'am, that is something, but it largely does not distort the language.
Okay. Talking about scripts, why are a few scripts angular and sharp, whereas a few other are rounded and cursive and smooth? Why?
Ma'am, there are historical reasons for that. Ma'am, for example, the southern languages were written on palm leaves. And ma'am, if there would be very straight lines, the palm leaf would break out and ma'am, people would not be able to write. And for that reason, ma'am, the southern languages evolved in an angular fashion so that they could write on palm leaves.
Does Kannada have an angular fashion? Or is it a rounded script?
Ma'am, largely South Indian languages are rounded script, ma'am. Kannada also.
What about Malayalam?
Yes, ma'am. Malayalam is also a rounded script.
Is it rounded?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What are the most common side effects for drugs in general?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, nausea, vomiting.
Let me stop you there. Now, which are the category of drugs where nausea and vomiting can never be a side effect?
Ma'am, there is a class of drug antiemetic.
Correct. Okay. There are two classes of anti-inflammatory drugs. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What are the two classes?
Ma'am, there is, I can remember one non-steroidal anti-inflammatory
Correct.
drugs. And second would be, ma'am, steroidal drugs.
Correct. So, when would a non-steroidal be indicated and when is a steroidal indicated?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, for normal inflammations and normal pains, generally NSAIDs are recommended. But ma'am, whereby certain significant diseases such as cancer and the diseases which give immense pain, ma'am, they cannot be handled with NSAIDs. In such cases, steroidal drugs are given.
A few examples of steroidal drugs which are analgesics.
Yes, ma'am. Prednisolone.
Prednisolone, is it an analgesic?
Ma'am, I have to read on that.
Okay. You're aware of a few drug discoveries which were serendipitous, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Name a few.
Ma'am, I can recall penicillin by Alexander Fleming.
Amazing. And something else?
Sorry, ma'am, I can recall this.
Not an issue. Okay, let us come to geography. You are aware that Somnath Swabhiman Parv is being celebrated, was being celebrated last January, correct?
Sorry,
Are you aware?
ma'am, I'm not aware.
Are you aware of Somnath Mandir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you aware of the geographical significance of something that is there in Somnath Mandir?
Sorry, ma'am, I'm not
Are you aware of Banstambh?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you belong to Indore.
Yes, ma'am.
Indore is known for its pleasant evenings or Shab-e-Malwa, correct? You were talking about ocean breeze and sea breeze and land breeze. What is so special about Shab-e-Malwa?
Ma'am, I'm sorry, I'm not aware of that particular event.
Okay. Are you aware of the magnetic hill in Leh?
Yes, ma'am, I'm aware that, ma'am, it gives an illusion whereby things are going against the direction of gravity. But, ma'am, largely it is an illusion. And
Why is it happening?
ma'am, because the geographical dimensions of that region in specific visibility gives an impression that the vehicle is going uphill. But, ma'am, in larger sense, if we look at the geomorphological picture from a broader view, it is in gravimetric dimensions only, ma'am.
Okay, you belong to Rajiv Gandhi Pradhyogiki
Vishwavidyalaya.
Vishwavidyalaya. Okay. Do you think Pradhyogiki is getting translated into Takniki in India?
I have seen in IITs, particularly I have seen in IIT Bombay where in Marathi Pradhyogiki is written as Takniki, ma'am. But apart from it, I'm not aware.
I don't think you've understood the question, but let's move on. Your father owns a gold business, if I'm not wrong.
Ma'am, he's a gold and silver broker.
Correct. He's into brokerage. Now, my last question to you is, there has been a dip in the rates of gold ETF. Could you give me the reasons for this?
Ma'am, it is largely because of profit booking activity, ma'am. As the gold prices hit record highs, now people are selling their ETFs so that because they have their expected margins. So, ma'am, that's why people are selling the exchange traded funds.
Okay, thank you, Rishul. Ma'am.
Rishul, you studied geography.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'd continue from Sir's questions. You mentioned all the states through which Tropic of Cancer passes. Can you also tell me the number of districts in Madhya Pradesh through which the Tropic of Cancer passes? Not the name, just the number.
Ma'am, I'm not sure, but I think 14 districts of
Absolutely. Does it also pass through Indore?
No.
All right. Recently, Venezuela has been in news. Why?
Ma'am, the United States have taken annexation of the Venezuela by taking their president in hostage.
So what is the difference between annexation and capture?
Ma'am, annexation is inclusion of territory, but ma'am, capture is basically, ma'am, taking away the president of the country.
So have they annexed or have they captured?
Ma'am, I think capture would be the right term.
All right. Venezuela was also in news recently with regards to geographical reasons, as in climate change. Are you aware?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, Venezuela is a part of the Amazonian forest, and ma'am, the forest fires in Amazon forest is of particular concern because, ma'am, it is the lungs of the world. So, ma'am, I think from that dimension, climate change is impacting.
Let me be more precise here. Have you heard of the Humboldt Glacier?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. Ma'am, it is the first glacier which has the first country to lose all its
glaciers. All right. Fine. You're from Indore and it is, always been like the cleanest city in India. However, there was a recent water contamination tragedy that happened. You tell me, what are the challenges that are associated with urban wastewater management in India?
Ma'am, I think the major concern is that, ma'am, the water from the households and even industries is released into the river bodies, local water bodies, untreated. And ma'am, the circularity of that water is not maintained in urban centers. So, ma'am, I think the larger reason would be that circularity and sewage treatment plants in certain urban areas are mandated and their quality is ensured.
All right. Okay, fair. You have also presented yourself as a rail enthusiast. So tell me, are you aware of this India's first hydrogen-powered train trial runs? Tell me, what are the challenges associated?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the hydrogen is a very inflammable gas, and ma'am, storage of hydrogen, refilling of hydrogen is of significant concern, ma'am, because a single spark is lethal and deadly for a train. And ma'am, hydrogen at present is very costly. The production facilities in India is very low. So that ma'am, the supply of hydrogen would be a difficult task.
All right. So, India has seen persistently low rates of inflation these days, right? Can you list a few reasons for that?
Ma'am, I think the monetary policy of the Reserve Bank of India has played a crucial role. The significantly high interest rate in the initial part of the year by the RBI repo rate has ensured that the borrowing across the country is difficult because of high interest rate, and so that ma'am, the inflation has also decreased in the country. Other than ma'am, supply of goods and services has been ensured so that the supply induced inflation is not undertaken.
All right. Okay, fair. What do you understand by annual financial statement?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, annual financial statement is the official name of the budget. It is under Article 112 of the Constitution, and ma'am, on 1st of February, the annual financial statement, which is the gross statement of receipts and expenditure of the government, would be undertaken.
Who prepares the annual budget?
Ma'am, the budget division in Department of Economic Affairs in Ministry of Finance prepares the budget.
All right. What do you understand by gender budgeting?
Ma'am, gender budgeting is the conscious effort by the department to ensure that the budget also takes into account the issues of women in different sectors of the government are addressed, and such budget is allocated so that women empowerment can be undertaken.
All right. Just 2 schemes of Madhya Pradesh that are reflective of gender budgeting. Just name them.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I think the Ladli Behna Yojana, the first one, and ma'am, second one would be, ma'am, I cannot recall the exact name, ma'am, but in that Yojana, the women children and women students are getting laptops, and even ma'am, the entire education fees of those female children are waived off, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Rishul, thank you very much. Your interview is over. You may go now.
Thank you, sir.
Sit down, Rishul. When is your interview, Rishul?
Sir, 5th of Feb.
Oh, 5th itself. Okay. Which attempt is this?
Second.
Second. And first interview?
Yes.
How was your experience today with us?
Sir, it was wonderful.
You are a wonderful candidate, no doubt about it. You are a very promising candidate, very deserving candidate, and overall performance has been excellent. Now, what questions will be asked is anybody's guess, isn't it? Now, you have shown, going through your DAF, that you are a man of varied interest, isn't it? First of all, you have studied this thing, your pharmacology. So, pharmacology, you know, the name of how our country is trying to lay focus on pharma industry, you know. So, related questions you must have prepared. So, some questions will definitely be coming under this. What way it will come, I can't guide you properly, but those import-export issues will definitely be discussed and all that. Then generic medicines, what are the issues with the generic medicines and all that, and how to promote generic medicines, and your answers were well taken and all that. So, must expect some questions related to pharmacology. Geography is a very vast subject.
Yes, sir.
So, you don't know some issues related to the issues which the country is facing, like landslide on the northern and southern side, then your cyclones on the eastern coast, and then your climate change and all. General questions may be coming. Talking about the government initiative, Sagar Mala and projects and all that, the 4 or 5 projects are Gati Shakti under Gati Shakti scheme. So those projects you should have a fair, because you are a student of geography, you should have a fairly good idea. Number one, coastline, length of our coastline on the eastern side, on the western side. Which one is more vulnerable? Why eastern is more vulnerable than the western side? So that is so that the board has a fairly good idea that he knows the subject.
Yes.
You may not be able to define this term, that term, and all that. But if you have a general understanding, then board will get impressed that yes, he understands and he knows how to implement it. Knowledge per se is not important, but how you use that knowledge in your day-to-day working, that is what is important. Then your various zones, like
Yes, sir.
that is, I hope you know all that. So some questions related to that may come. Translation, because transliteration, many candidates are not interested in that. What is the subtle difference between the two? What and how it is? Does it lead to integration of the country, or it creates more fissure than solving the problem? That kind of a general questions. And which articles of the Constitution deal with the translation and all? That articles of the Constitution must be fully aware. 345 to 351 articles of the Constitution, they deal with this. Railway enthusiast is another interesting area.
Yes,
where a lot of questions may be asked. Your interest is only bookish interest, or you have also been traveling and all that? If you have been traveling, then your experiences while traveling may come up for discussion and all. And Madhya Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh is your state. So many things are happening in Madhya Pradesh. Tourism is one sector which is important. Tribal issues are there. In that case, disaster management. They are going for big projects and all that in the tribal dominated area. Government is going in for making large scale projects. How it is going to affect the tribal life, and how to have a balance between the tribal life and the successful completion of projects. These questions are likely questions which comes to our mind. When your father is in Sarafa, gold and silver. So gold and silver, everybody is discussing about gold and silver only. Why prices of gold is going up? What is going to the future prices of silver? What is gold etc and all that? How it is different from bullion and all? And what is the impact? Have some study done on this also, because this could be another area. Then pharmacology, if opinion-based questions are asked, like we asked you a question, how to vaccine children in the rural areas, how to convince them, isn't it? Try to think of 2-3 points, convincing points. Place yourself in a position of a civil servant, and then think from that perspective how you are going to make an impact. So that is, and it should be convincing also.
Yes.
Isn't it? If you are able to make that mental this thing, collection of thoughts, then it will be better. So you have to conjure up your ideas very quickly and then come out with answers. Somnath, we asked you, we didn't know, you said, I don't know, that is how it should be. But try to know it, because it has happened recently, so try to know it. Otherwise, international affairs, due to paucity of times, we did not ask you many questions. You must have prepared, and you must be thoroughly prepared to answer questions. But be honest, be truthful, don't compromise with your ethical values, because this is a test of your personality, not the knowledge, isn't it? So always don't answer any question based on guesswork or based on your conjectures. Either you know or you don't know. Wherever you know, collect your thoughts and then come out. Your clarity of thought is there in your mind. I don't think there will be any cluttering and all that. Come to the board's notice very clearly and loudly. No problem about that. All the best from our side. If you have any questions to ask, feel free to ask.
Sir, I would just like to express my gratitude. I wanted to meet you for very long.
Do well.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you so much, sir.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.